What's up, guys? Welcome to the Mississippi Real Estate Podcast, hosted by Ryan Watson.
And I'm Tripp, where it's all about real life, real talk, and real estate.
Join us as we dive into the stories, trends, and insider tips shaping the world of Mississippi real estate.
Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or you're just curious about the market, we've got all the insights you need to navigate with confidence. So if y'all are ready, let's get real.
All right, y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Mississippi Real Estate Podcast. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun and talk about the market, and we're going to talk about where we've been for the last few weeks. It's been crazy because it's summertime, and we've been on vacations, and we've been, I don't know if you ever really go on vacation, do you, Tripp, if you're a real estate agent?
Did you take, oh, yeah, no.
You're not ever really
You can't leave it.
You just talk on the phone the whole time.
Yeah.
And I've got my favorite free sunglasses on right now.
Yeah, you're definitely rocking the summer vibe. I didn't know if you just saw Top Gun Maverick or if you're just trying to throw a beach theme out there.
So, look, I'm going to go ahead and plug my church cross gates in here real quick because we had a thing, Father's Day was this past Sunday.
Yes.
And
happy belated Father's Day to all you fathers.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
Since we didn't have any podcasts come out before then.
But so anyways, we went to church, and you walk in the door, and they've got a little area. They literally had a real motorcycle parked up in the building and had this big sign that said, what did it say, Top Dad? Isn't that right? It said Top Dad on it, and they were giving away these amazing sunglasses, $500 a pair.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Anyway, so I figured I'd wear them today because you can't beat a cheap pair of sunglasses. So, Tripp, if you ever want to wear them, I'll let you wear them.
No, I'm good, thanks. Do you have a picture of the top?
I need to get a picture.
Take a picture of the
motorcycle
in the church?
So, they had it set up where you could actually take a picture in front of it.
Isn't your wife a photographer for a living?
There was a lot of people in there. There was a lot of people.
I could have just signed them up and said, "Here, pay you $10."
I was like,
get your motorcycle shot.
I said, "We're going to eat Mexican. Let's roll." And we left.
I heard that. Well,
so let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the market and what's going on.
Well, let's just tell everybody kind of why we've been a little absent here lately. We normally put out a podcast per week.
Yep.
But work's been good for both people, and you've been on vacation. So where y'all been?
Yeah, I've been on the phone in different locations is really the way you say that. I don't know if vacation is the right word, but no, we have been on vacation. It's been a lot of fun. Went to the beach, and went to the beach with both sides of our family. And the first time we went to the beach was we went to Orange Beach.
Yep, Gulf Shores.
And it was lots of fun. We actually went to the beach. We were there, and it actually was very chill. We just chilled out and hung out and went out and threw the baseball a little bit, and all the things with the beach, eating good food.
Throw a frisbee.
Didn't throw a frisbee.
That's the beach. You take a baseball and throw a frisbee, man.
Yeah, you can't when you got baseball. When you're doing baseball, you don't get away from baseball.
That's a true story too.
That is a fact.
Just like you don't get away from real estate.
Exactly. You don't get away from baseball. You don't get away from baseball.
Other people have been. So you talk about do you ever really have a vacation when you go on vacation working in this industry? And the answer really is no, because you feel like you get busier when you leave.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I was at the house and everything was trucking along, or maybe I didn't have that many deals, and all of a sudden you get right when you're getting prepared to go to the beach and you're packing, all of a sudden you get a buyer, you get a seller, a deal speeds up that you already got in the works, or something's, or something goes backwards in that deal. And then you get to the beach and everybody's like, let's go to the beach. And you're like, I'll be there in a little bit. And you're under the umbrella, and it happens every time.
Man.
And I'm telling you, there's other realtors that are going to agree. They'd be like, yep.
100%. Yeah. Like I got listings while I was at the beach.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been crazy.
But that's good, though.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Where else y'all go?
So we did that. We went to Orange Beach. And then we came back, and then we had Vacation Bible School for the kids. So we did that for a week. So we had vacation a week, and we had Vacation Bible School for the kids. So that's kind of vacation for the kids there. And then we went to Dolphin Island.
Okay. That's on the Mississippi coast, right? Is that
Alabama.
Oh,
Alabama.
that's a barrier island for Alabama. I get them all mixed
Yeah,
up.
I do too. It's on the coast.
There you
Gulf of America. Let's go.
go.
um, but we had a lot of fun there too. Went with my side of the family for that one, and man, it was so much fun. We did all the beach things. I bought a crab trap. I got in trouble for buying a crab trap, but we bought a crab trap, and our plan was to catch crabs, and I got licensed. I got licensed to catch a fish or a crab, and we can keep them and eat them and stuff.
Okay.
So go ahead and just throw that out there. But
So you were legal.
I was legal.
Good.
I was legal. Which a lot of people, when they get a condo at the beach and they bring a fishing pole, a lot of times they don't get licensed. But you should.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you got to get a license, especially if you're in Alabama. If you go to the Mississippi coast, then you've got your sportsman's license or whatever that covers everything. But I don't know. You may have to buy salt water. I don't know.
That's
how
a
that
great
works.
question. to
Look
find out
into
about.
it. Look into it. Anyway, so we caught a bunch of crabs, good keepers. Had to throw a bunch of little baby ones back, but good little small little thing to know. They got to be 5 inches long to keep them.
What
A blue crab.
Oh, the blue crab.
crab,
I
yeah.
got you.
So anyway,
Catch a bunch?
yeah, we brought them home and we ate some a couple nights ago.
I don't think a 5-inch blue crab would be worth eating.
That's legal. You can't keep them smaller than that.
Oh. Well, I'm not saying it was a small crab. Doesn't seem like you're getting a lot of meat out of it. That's what I'm
No, we didn't get much meat.
saying. Okay,
Actually,
that's where I was going.
My kids are still hungry. Actually,
Yeah.
they're still hungry. But I threw some crab. When we boiled the crabs, I threw some potatoes in there and threw some, all the little fixings.
Yeah, sure. That's
It was
fun.
so good. So what'd y'all do? What you been doing?
Y'all been busy. Was one trip a family trip, or were they both family trips?
They
What
both
were we doing here? Was one
define family.
Well,
Like
you
our family, just
immediate family, or was it like extended
So it was
in-laws and
yeah,
in-laws and in-laws for
Yes,
each of you? Whatever.
yes.
Which one?
Yes.
Orange Beach? Did y'all have one just y'all and the
Both.
kids? Oh, they both were.
No. Yeah, both were family, in-laws, and then in-laws.
So let me ask you a
So
question.
my in-laws first trip, her in-laws second trip.
I've always been told this is the way I see it.
Don't go in-laws.
No, that is not what I'm going. I hope yours aren't watching.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God!
I love all my in-laws.
I don't know.
really
I'm questioning it.
I really do.
If you go, do you deem it a vacate? Did you deem that a vacation? Not because of work, but like, was it a vacation? What do you deem a
Yes.
vacation? Like relaxing?
Yes,
You know,
and
whatever. So the way me and my wife look at it is, if the kids go, we're on a trip.
yeah,
If the kids don't go and we're able to get away, that's a
good-
vacation.
that's a good way to look at it.
Because when the kids go, you're still having to.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's a trip when you go with the kids. And,
Now I will.
in my
say-
opinion, because they're going. Hey, let's go do it. And now here's the deal: we love our trips with our kids.
Oh, for
make
sure.
them memories.
Yeah,
But
for
a
sure.
true vacation, in my opinion, is when me and Tracy get to go somewhere.
and you just sit there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have nobody pulling on us.
You don't have to make sandwiches.
But then the funny thing is, after about half a day or a day, we're like, man, we really miss the kids.
I know.
Not that we don't
Hey.
enjoy each other's company, but we just want we want the little boogers there with us.
Yeah, real
Anyway.
real talk. So before our first vacation our first trip that we went on.
Now you're gonna call them a trip.
Yeah, our first trip that we went on this year, or a couple weeks ago, we actually had a wedding, an out of state wedding that we went in Georgia, in the mountains of. We're actually near Blairsville, which if you've never been to Blairsville, it is gorgeous. I guess is that the Appalachian or I don't remember which mountains it is. They're beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
But we were in Blairsville, and so this was a vacation for a couple of days because, we also, if you're listening and don't know, me and my wife, we shoot weddings and we're photographers as well, and so we had a wedding that we shot on this day. And it was right before, it literally lined up right on the day we were supposed to be on our trip. And so what we did is we drove with all our car packed down with all our stuff for the trip, we were with the kids and everybody, and we went to the wedding, shot the wedding, stayed the night in Blairsville in the mountains. And so we were literally in the mountains one day, and then turn around the next day and we're at the beach. It was really cool.
So everything's. I'm trying to figure out where this place is.
So Blairsville, Georgia.
Yeah, the North Georgia mountains.
Okay, it's
I don't know
beautiful. And so the wedding that we shot was actually on the side of a mountain, and so it was beautiful. There's actually a really cool.
It's got to be a part of the Appalachians because they're talking about the Appalachian Trail and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Google facting. You got
go Google.
Fact checking.
Beautiful place. Beautiful place. But anyway, so I'll say all this to say we were in the mountains that one night, and it really was a vacation because it was just Sarah and I. We went and ate. Went and ate dinner, and then we're in the mountains that night, and then we come right back the next morning, and we're at the beach on our trip.
It's perfect
with everybody. So
I love it.
We had a little vacation.
But that wasn't this year.
That was this year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
Dang, y'all been okay.
It was a
good.
beautiful, beautiful wedding.
Yeah, y'all combined work and travel.
Yeah.
All in one. That's not bad. So even when you're not doing real estate, you're taking pictures.
Did a little write-off right there, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Did a little write-off.
We hadn't been on a vacation this summer. Yeah. We went to Cooperstown and played baseball with our son, and we flew into Albany, New York. So it was upstate New York, so I was thinking we're going to New York, and I think big city.
Yeah.
Man, upstate New York is gorgeous.
Beautiful. Oh, I bet.
Hardwood ridges. They got
never been there.
These, they got all these cool postcard. I mean, everything looked like all these farms out there around Cooperstown looked like everyone could be on a postcard. It was a lot of baseball.
That's where the mountains were too. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just a gorgeous place. I would have never.
So y'all had a tournament. Y'all had a for Kaysen.
Yeah, for a couple of years, his team was had determined that as long as the team in the majority stayed together, that they were going to go on this trip and play in Cooperstown. It's where the Baseball Hall of Fame is, museum or whatever.
Did y'all get to see any of that? Or?
Yeah, we went to downtown Cooperstown and we did the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm going to tell you, man, you've got to be a real baseball fanatic to like we went into the Hall of Fame and I was like, man, this is cool. But after about 30 minutes, I was like, okay. There's 3 stories.
Where's Babe Ruth at?
There's 3 stories. That's the part I enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing the very beginnings and like the old gloves and stuff they use. Yeah. And then there was a room that showed
that is cool.
the different decades and centuries and showed different, it was, I have a picture we can post and kind of show the hall of, I can't remember what they called it, but it was at the very end of the tour on your way out. That was a cool thing. But everything in between, like the newer stuff, I was just like, I don't know. You just got to be really into baseball to absorb a lot of that information. You can really spend a couple of days in there if you really wanted to, get all the facts and read the plaques, but
I bet.
Seeing the history of it was my favorite part of it, like the old school stuff, and what built it up to where it is now. We checked out the Doubleday field in the back. Apparently, that's like one of the first built baseball fields. So it was pretty cool to see. Yeah, a lot of good restaurants to eat around there, and and it was. I was surprised at how beautiful it was. But we were there from a Saturday to Saturday, so it was a lot of baseball to play. It's a baseball town, so by the time we got towards the end, we're ready to get home, and I'm ready for the baseball season to be over.
I mean, y'all probably were spending the majority of your time at the ball field.
Yeah. We had a beautiful Airbnb, man. But Cooperstown's cool. I mean, it's an experience. Some people say that it's a great experience for the kids. It was. I think my son enjoyed it. I think his team enjoyed it. So we got to do that, to experience that. I know there's other ones that are in other states that you can experience different things. So, but so far, that's all we've done this summer.
Yeah.
Tracy and I have a vacation coming up. It's a work vacation, though. Her team won a quota trip, so we're going to California in a few weeks.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So that'll be fun. We actually got to go to Dallas.
All them high Texas over there.
We got to go to Dallas before that work trip because my son's playing in his last. He's playing in a regional IFC tournament, soccer tournament. So I guess if they win that, they can go to nationals or whatever. I don't know.
Y'all got baseball.
It's just sports, man. Yeah, we're in the season of life. I don't know. I tried to I started looking at like, hey, can we try to squeeze in the beach time with the kids and stuff this year? And Tracy's like, no, the kids are going to be in Oklahoma that 2 weeks, and then they start school. And I was like, well, I'll just give up then. we'll eventually go.
That's just the season that y'all are in right now. Yeah.
I guess we say all this though, folks, to tell y'all like we know we have we kind of been inconsistent with the podcast here lately.
Yep.
But it's only been because it's our busy season.
That's right.
Where Ryan's got multiple deals in the works. I've got multiple deals in the works. So we've been trying to obviously service our customers and clients, and then also balance the family time. So y'all hang in there with us.
Yeah,
and,
family is important to us.
100%. Yeah, everybody. But I guess my message is this: hang in there through the summer months. We may put a podcast out every 2 or 3 weeks, or we might get to the point we get on the roll, but. Yeah. We'll get back to some consistency. But we wanted to jump on today and talk a little bit, say hello.
And hope y'all been doing good.
Yeah.
Hope y'all been having some good vacations and good trips too.
And if you got kids in sports, hope all that's going well.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You want to talk about this market real quick and give everybody just an update?
Let's talk about the market a little bit and kind of what we're seeing on rates as of this week.
Yep.
This will actually air next week, so by the time you're seeing this, we'll be a little week behind, but they'll probably be about pretty close to what they are.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've seen them change a whole lot from
this. They hadn't.
So every time we get updates from our lenders, it's always hanging around these numbers. You want me to give them to them?
Yeah, well, go ahead. You want to start with a conventional?
So conventional still hovering around 6.8. Mm-hmm. So, and that all depends too. This all is subject to your credit.
That's right.
But the average right now, conventional, 6.8 USD. So that's down. That's actually, they say that's down from, I guess, last week. USDA is up a little bit at 6.5. I'm just going to roll through all these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And VA is down a little bit, 6.4. And then FHA is down a little at 6.6. In my opinion, do you remember when we had on Adam Black and he said this year is the what did he say? Golly, I wish
trying to get back to baseline.
Yeah, finding baseline.
Finding baseline.
That's exactly right. Thank you for that.
Yep.
We said everybody felt like it's not going to go back down to what it was crazy times, but if we can get around 6.5, that may be a sweet spot. And I feel like we're starting to see that. I mean, they're still volatile,
for sure.
In my opinion, a little bit, because they'll shoot up some every now and then, and everything's so placated on the current events of tariffs and whatnot, and then what's happening overseas with these. You know, everything's going to be. You're going to have these short-term fluctuations, but I feel like we're kind of proving that baseline might be around the 6.5 stuff,
everything's kind of. I feel like everything's kind of still. I agree with you. I'm just piggybacking off of what you're saying. I feel like everything is still kind of up in the air. They're going to say about the same. We're finding baseline for sure, in that sense. But also I think everything's kind of going back up the air again, because are the tariffs actually doing what they were planned to do and hope to do? And are we going to war? Are we, there's a lot of things up in the air right now.
Yeah, the economic drivers.
I don't want to get too political.
No,
but all those things do affect.
Yeah. So I think you'll see some weeks where they're up higher and some. But what we've, if we go back 3 or 4 weeks, it seems like they've been, like they've.
Yeah,
they haven't gotten too far from. They hadn't gotten too far. I think at one time they got a little bit. Conventional was like a 7.2. That's probably been the highest in my opinion here in the last few weeks. But for the most part, I feel like everything's been hovering around under 7 on the conventional.
Yeah.
So maybe we're seeing them, starting to find their baseline, like Adam kind of pointed out too. So
I'm having a lot of buyers coming in right now with that are veterans that are getting VA loans. So I guess that sweet spot of 6.5, 6.4, where we're at right now, is a great little spot. I'm seeing my veterans are going, man, that looks good. I can afford this.
Yeah.
And they're jumping on stuff. I've had several deals going with that. So I mean I feel like if we ever get to, the 6.5, everybody you always hear talk about, man, if they ever get to 5, the market's going to be crazy. Everybody, but I think if we get to 6.4, 6.5 conventional stuff, right, depending on your credit and everything else, I think it's going to be really good there too. I think we'll see an update.
Yeah, I mean,
now, we've got a lot on the market right now, and I think we're going to get into that too.
Yeah, we found some interesting stuff. We had one of our colleagues bring up a good point.
Yep.
Just some stuff we found on social media. It's kind of funny, but we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, I mean, things are coming on the market. So, like, I think people are starting to adjust the rates.
Mm-hmm.
I think still some of the biggest adjustment is what me and you're talking about, because you sent me a referral in insurance. And so insurance still kind of is the shock and awe, I think, right now. But I feel like people are getting more used to, okay, the rates are going to be in these 6, this mid-6 to upper 6 range. And I don't know. I mean, houses are coming up for sale, which is good, and people are buying. I think today in our meeting, it looked like that a couple of weeks ago, the average day on market for the Central Mississippi for MLS or whatever was like 75 continuous days on market. It's down to like 64.
Yeah.
So that's good, but that's expected, right? Summer tends to be a hot time for buying and selling. So, but the listings have increased. So inventory is creeping up, which is
we got a lot
good.
of inventory. Yeah.
So what we've been hearing here recently, in my opinion, what I've been hearing in the real estate world and industry is a rebalancing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if I agree 100% that it's a full, like, back into the buyer's market, but I still think
feel like we're close, man.
I still think in some markets, in micro markets around our area, there's still some areas that are more lean towards seller's market, and there's some that are starting to be more buyers. But overall, I do think I agree with a rebalancing. I feel like inventory's creeping up, but buyers have more of a leg to stand on when it comes to negotiations. And I think sellers are starting to understand that. I think there's some houses that are, if they're priced right, and I think sellers still have more of the ball in their court. So, but I say all that to say, there's starting to be a good, healthy mix, and I feel like we're getting back to a rebalance or a balanced market, or neutral, whatever you want to call it.
And to piggyback off of that too, like what you're talking about there, like the negotiations that I've been seeing is being, like, I'm seeing sellers and buyers come to agreements on, I'm seeing buyers go, okay, we want all this fixed and repaired, and then they're saying, my sellers are going, we're not fixing all that, but we'll fix some, we'll fix a lot of that, and it's working out, and they're coming to a good agreement.
They're open to it. It used to be like, I ain't fixing nothing.
I ain't fixing squat. You buy it as is. But no, and so I'm seeing a lot of the negotiation is happening, and it's being, people are coming to an agreement, and they're understanding. I feel like the market's getting back to where we're understanding that, it's just being more of a balance. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think, and I think
I'm glad we're like that.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's happy, it's good. But.
Yeah, I mean, every deal is unique and different. I had this conversation just the other day. Somebody was talking about, I guess there's still stereotypical benchmarks about, well, this is a typical thing in a real estate transaction and this. And, of course, always commission gets brought up. And I had to stop and I was like, no, everything inside of a transaction, a real estate deal, is negotiable. People need to start realizing that. Like, a realtor can... I mean, I'm pretty sure I lost a listing going into this week that I thought I had locked up, because I think the feeling I'm getting is somebody negotiated, I guess, their seller's commission a little differently than I did.
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason. I looked at the listing. Yeah. Everything was very on par for what me and that potential seller had. Yeah. I reached out to him and told him I might have a buyer, and he said, great, we're all, this is how many apples we're offering on the other side. I don't want to get in too many trouble. But like, everything seemed very oddly something like the only thing that they would have won this over would be maybe they're taking less on the other. I don't know. So, but anyway, to prove that, I guess, is that everything's negotiable.
Absolutely. And I express that to my people too.
Yeah. Closing attorneys to,
everything is negotiable.
I mean, repairs, commissions, I mean, everything. Closing date. Everything's got to, I mean, I don't think there's anything that's just 100%. I mean, there's a few things.
I heard somebody say the other day that the closing date is just a suggestion. because everything just is up in the air, with that. But
Well, there's a document for everything.
Are
That's
you-
why they're negotiating.
are you seeing stuff? Are you seeing deals kind of hinging on insurance right now?
Yeah.
Most of them.
I thought you were about to have one.
Yeah, I actually did have one that fell through because of financing.
I got a guy that another realtor friend of mine sent me a referral on the insurance side, and I feel like when I start talking insurance, I need to put my insurance hat. Like I have an insurance center hat.
I understand. We don't have to get deep off in the insurance.
Well, I think it is a thing though. Rates are going up.
I literally had a contract.
Still going up.
Yeah,
The problem is roofs.
I know.
Roofs is one of the biggest common denominators.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an older roof, because insurance carriers are literally changing the way they approach roofs and roof claims, if you got an older roof, it's either going to cause that carrier to either not be eligible for them, or the price is going to go way up because they know it's older roof and it's about to need some issues. And so if they have a hailstorm, they're preparing for. And a lot of people are like, why does it cost so much? But I go back to this all the time. Material costs are more, labor costs are more. Everything that we do is
Inflated.
more. It costs more to replace. Like auto insurance is going up because cars today are not what they were 5-10 years ago in price point. And so it costs more to replace that. And we can get on. I still plan on having my insurance folks on here, and we can go really deep in the weeds on insurance.
Sure.
I think it's a needed podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
But I have some stuff that we've been talking about on that side of it, and there's some really good breakdown my agency manager sent us the other day, and I was just like, that's 100% fact. It has to do with increased rates and cost of everything that we do as consumers and things that we buy and purchase.
Yeah.
But roofs are a big deal because if you got a newer roof, then you can almost feel a little bit more confident that you're not going to have the issues with the insurance.
Yeah.
If you got an older roof, I got one of my sellers right now. He's actually fixing his roof so we can for the buyer, and that's a huge thing,
Yeah.
So it's keeping our deal together and it's looking pretty good. So yeah insurance is affecting. I've got another. What I was going on this, I have a realtor friend of mine sent me a referral. And his original deal fell through, and he was in more of a neighborhood setting. And then he went and bought another house further out. So he's in more of what they call a protection class 10, so more rural area. Mm-hmm. But it's also the building materials is not something these companies care to really have. So his insurance went from what you would consider an average rate now to, man, it almost tripled. And I'm like, oh man. I hope this doesn't mess up your. And that's the only thing. Now I think he's shopping, which he should. Yeah. But that's the only option I had for him. So.
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah, it's tough.
I literally had a contract where in the special provisions of the contract, the other agent put in there contingent on affordable insurance.
Oh my goodness. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that tells you anything,
it's a thing.
It's a thing for real.
It's a thing for sure.
And now,
but anyway.
Hopefully they've gotten, I think that we've gotten affordable insurance and we're moving forward on all that stuff. But I don't want to get in the weeds of that.
I think a good message for me is just for buyers and sellers, be patient in a real estate. When you get in under contract, be patient. Be open to the negotiations and seeing what the other side has to say. And I think for sellers, for people who are listing their property, I think we mentioned this on one of the last podcasts, like just don't panic if the house doesn't sell in the first 7 days, because again, we're not in the markets we were a year or 2 years ago, whatnot. And so when we talk about rebalancing, like, you got new construction you're competing with, and more existing homes are starting to come on the market. So competition may be a little bit stronger. People are buying, but they're taking their time on picking the home and then negotiating the home. So don't just know that the average days on market is about 64 days, and it will sell. There's a buyer for every house. But if you don't get it done and if you don't get under contract in a week or two, that doesn't mean it's not going to sell.
But
in my opinion.
I'm going to bring up another point right there too off of that. knowing what the houses, the price per foot are selling for in your neighborhood, and in the recent months leading up to listing, that's why it's good to have a real estate agent, because we can see those prices and what things have closed for and get you close and help you with what price to list your house at, because things are changing so much right now.
Yeah, I would even
so
say
frequent.
that some price points are starting to cool off in some areas. You know what I mean?
Does that make
I'm not saying
sense?
that I'm not saying they're declining, but
No,
I
no.
think the steep incline of appreciation we had is starting to kind of level out to a normal appreciation and whatnot.
I guess my point to all that is that we still got a lot of sellers that are stuck in I hate to bring up COVID again, but they're stuck in those times when rates were so low and people were, jumping on houses like crazy.
I think that's what my point was. Like, be patient.
Right.
That's why I said
we're not in that market
We're not in
anymore.
that market anymore.
No.
I don't even. Yeah, we're moved past that.
Yeah.
No, we're
they're going to sit there for a minute, maybe.
Yeah, but I do think sellers have that. Yes, that it's still kind. But I think we're more time. That's moving past that. People are realizing. So that's why I said sellers be patient.
Yeah.
Because buyers are being
Exactly.
buyers aren't being as quick. I think they're doing more due diligence, and they're the neighborhoods they want to be in. Okay, there's a couple houses here, so they don't feel as rushed, I guess, to make a decision, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get into something else because I got a doctor's appointment at 1. But I want to. It's about the market.
Yeah.
But one of our colleagues, she brought up
a
little interesting thing on Facebook.
Yeah.
So on one of the, I guess the Let's Talk.
But why don't you read what
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read it.
I'm going to read what she sent, and we're going to try to address this. I hope we don't get hate mail by this, because I don't want to get into
We're not talking bad about it.
No, we're not talking about it. I think it's a good thing to address.
This is the reality of the situation, of what's being said, and then we're going to explain the reality.
Yeah. So in our area, in Central Mississippi, we have a bunch of, and I'm sure they have it in other states, and Let's Talk whatever city you're in.
Yeah.
So this one is involved with Rankin County, and she sent Shannon Warren's the one that sent it to us, and she's like, "This is an interesting thing y'all could probably bring up and talk and maybe discuss a little bit." And I think it is. I don't have the poster, and I'm not going to call them out if I even did. I'm just got a snapshot of this.
Just read the question
But the question is, there are over 600 homes on the market in Rankin County. Why so many? And where is everyone going? So I'm sure we have listeners that are part of whatever site that is. Sure. And I'm not even going to go get in the weeds of the comments.
I'm not going to mention people or talk about people or read the comments.
There's some interesting comments.
There are definitely some interesting comments.
I think the reason she wanted us to bring this up, and the reason I think it's interesting to talk about, is we've talked about before these sites like Zillow and House.com and how they can get you close, but they're not 100% accurate.
Right.
So I don't know where this person got their information about their 600 or so homes, but I just wanted to kind of put some things in perspective.
Right.
So we have the information, right? Now we can't see, I guess, for sale by owner stuff per se,
right?
Because but for whatever realtors that have,
this is what we're seeing on the
membership
market.
to MLS, of our MLS.
Right.
This is what I can tell you about Rankin County. I think it's an interesting fact, because I think this spun off a lot of people are just leaving Rankin County. Because you got to realize
they're what they're getting to is, or what I'm hearing is that they're saying all this because they're saying there's something wrong with Rankin County and the way Rankin County is being run.
Maybe.
And they're saying people are leaving because of all the.
I don't know. Maybe.
Whatever.
You're going too far.
Okay.
I think.
Am I off track?
I think people get concerned. It's like in your neighborhood. If you see people put their houses up for sale, like, what am I missing? Is the timing hot? Right? Is there a new neighborhood? Like, I don't know. There's 9 million reasons people can move or whatever. But I think what it did for what I read on the short comments is like, of course you're going to have comments that go off the wall, but a lot of people are like, where are they going?
Yeah.
Are people vacating the county for a different county and whatever? Right. Who knows? But you got to remember, and I looked this up, I was like, where is Rankin County in the state of Mississippi anyway? It's the 4th most populated county in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing. It's a big county, so it covers a lot of zip codes.
Yeah.
But so to put, I guess, thing in perspective and maybe answer this person's like, where's everybody going? It doesn't necessarily mean people are leaving the county, right? So in MLS, active listings, active contingency first right of refusal, and active new construction all combined together, there's 449 active listings for sale.
So there's not 600 that we can see.
There's not 600 that we can see.
Right.
I don't know how many for sale by owners are out there. I would venture to say maybe it doesn't make up the difference. But if it does, I don't know. But so there's 449 active listings. In the last 3 months, okay, we're going to change our data point here. In the last 3 months in Rankin County, there has been 374 closed transactions.
Okay.
So 449, right?
Let's just say a little over half.
Well, it's over, yeah. I mean, so you're at...
Over half have closed.
Yeah, so about 83% of what's for sale is also being closed. So I guess to try to not go too deep into this person's thought, like 600 homes for sale, where's everybody going?
On them or anything.
Well, let's say that there's 600 for sale and a few more that for sale by owners have sold. So you're about 80% of those houses that went for sale are still selling in Rankin County. So people may just be moving neighborhoods.
Yep.
People might be going from a starter home to the next home and staying around the reservoir or 042 or wherever.
I think a lot of that has to do with where it's summertime and people are moving before their kids have to go back to school.
That's right. So they're just doing what normal people do. I think for all the things that the question they asked and where the comments were going, it's like Rankin County isn't necessarily bleeding residents.
No, it's not bad. Rankin County.
It's not bad, and we can
look
next podcast. We can combine. We can look at Madison and see what they have and compare Madison and Rankin, because I know those are the two that kind of get kind of like a I don't want to say a rivalry, but it's kind of like a backyard rivalry, but between the counties. But I guess to say this, like maybe there are 600. If you add in the for sale by owners, but then you have to add in a few.
Let's say there are. Well,
you have to add in that those for sale by owners have also sold a percentage of them.
Right.
So I would say that about 80% of what's going for sale is also being sold. So that means people are filling those houses that are coming on. So that's a good thing for your area. Right. That's the rebalancing we're talking about. You've got new construction.
I feel like that's pretty healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if we had 600 or 400 houses on the market and only 100 of them have sold, then we might be concerned.
I don't know.
But I mean,
I just
80%.
I just think it shows that houses are coming for sale and people are buying those houses inside the same county.
That's the point.
I don't think there's any panic button. I don't think anybody. Some people are always going to move out of. They may move counties for schools. They may move out of state for work.
Right.
But people are filling those homes that come available.
Right.
So I don't think, maybe don't go towards the negative all the time and think of it like we just talked about. The market's rebalancing. This is what happens when people start going, I'm ready to sell my house and go buy my next one. And there's a lot of people that like to stay inside their counties. And I think this shows that there's not an exodus. Is all I'm trying to say.
That's the moral of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I just thought so. Anyway, it's an interesting
thing. People are not leaving
thing.
Rankin County. Rankin County's fine. We still got great school district. We still got great schools. We got all the.
It's a very desirable county, as such, or other counties around. And
no
it's
matter
all,
what the naysayers say.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get on those sites. I think it was an interesting topic, but I think, man, you could really read into some of the comments and just go, woo.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the reality is the houses, people are buying and selling, and I think I think it shows signs of a healthy market when you've got houses come available, and then people come in and they buy those houses.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about that.
All right, so we that's a pretty good little update on the market today.
I felt good about it.
I think that's a pretty good
I gotta go get a dental checkup.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock that night.
Next time y'all see Tripp, he's gonna be missing a tooth in the front. all the pictures we're just missing.
I'll just take all these out
I'm
and
just
get those
kidding.
fake veneers and just don't have to worry about cavities
Dude,
anymore.
have you seen the way those go in? It's really weird.
No.
It's really weird. We're not gonna get into that.
No.
All right. Anyway. All right.
Upcoming anything
yeah.
you want to talk about? We got some, so we're trying to line up guests. You know, again, summer's been crazy, but we're trying to
We got some cool people coming on.
Yeah, we do have people coming back. We're going to get back to interviewing folks.
Yep. Yeah, we got some cool people.
So we're looking forward to some good interviews upcoming.
Yep.
And I guess.
And if you want to be on the show, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot us a comment, call us, whatever.
We have had people reach out, text us like, "Man, I'd love to be on the show, promote their business, or just talk to us about what they do," and we're open to that.
Yeah, if it lines up with everything that we're doing and lines up with real estate and the whole purpose of what we're doing, we'd love to have you on here. And
Yep.
I mean, I guess to before we end this on that note, well, we'll do that. I don't know what my point is. Anyway,
you're going to try to overcomplicate. If you want to be on the show, just holler at us, and we will probably let you be on the show. We like to learn. We like to meet and learn new people. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so thank y'all so much for watching or listening to this episode. We will catch y'all on the next one. We love y'all. Please do not forget to subscribe and like our stuff, and we love it. So we appreciate y'all. God bless.